The spirit of love and games is a childlike spirit, cursed to always be that way. Thus, given as his guardian and teacher, was the spirit of harmony, and they lived on the earth before the people. And during this time, when the spirit of love's older brothers went round the world and fixed their four directions, creating the fourth time the year, the spirit of love stayed with the spirit of harmony. One day when she was doing her duties, a dark stranger appeared, covered his face, and it was the wicked trickster, Iktomi. And he walked up to the spirit of love and said, "Hey, would you like to learn a new game?" And the spirit of love, childlike and innocent, jumped up and said, "Sure, I'd like to play a little game." And he's like, "All you have to do is follow me into the forest." And so, long into the day, the childlike spirit of love followed this dark stranger into the tide. And every time he got tired, the stranger would say, "No, just a little bit further, just a little bit further." And eventually they'd walk long, and now the sun was setting, and the spirit of love said, "I can't go on." And the dark stranger said, "Oh, that's okay. This is where we're here to play the game." And then suddenly the spirit of love's eyes lit up in happiness. And he said, "Now you get to go 3 guesses. Guess who I am?" And he's like, "Are you my father, the wind?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Are you my grandfather, the sky?" "Are you my grandfather, the old man of the north?" And he's like, "No." And he's like, "Are you grandfather's son?" And he's like, "No." And the stranger's like, "You've had your 3 guesses. Now it's my turn to play the game, and I shall reveal myself." And he showed himself to be the wicked spider, Iktomi, the trickster. And instantly, the spirit of love had heard all the stories about how not to trust Iktomi, never to play games with him. And then Iktomi said, "Right, now let me guess. You're here all alone, and you don't know where you are." And Iktomi said, "Yes." And the spirit of love said, "Yes." And then Iktomi's like, "And I guess you're hungry, and you're tired, and you're scared." And then the spirit of love said, "I don't want to play this game anymore." And Iktomi said, "The rules of the game are once you start playing, you can't stop until the game is over." And finally said, Iktomi said, "And I guess that you want to go home, and you can't." And suddenly the spirit of love became terrified. And Iktomi tied him up to the tree and said, "Everyone shall know the spirit of love is cursed, a childlike spirit who plays games with strangers and doesn't know their identity. And thus anyone who wishes to offer their prayers and ask for the blessings of love will enter a game, and they'll never know whether they will win or lose, because love is fickle." That night, when the spirit of love didn't return home, the spirit of harmony was worried. And the little sparrow bird, who's said to always speak truth, spoke and said, "The loved one that your loved one is down where by the river where he likes to play." And in her panic, she quickly ran off and didn't notice it wasn't a sparrow, but it was Iktomi. And Iktomi had already been down there and dug a hole to show that, made it look like there was a little child buried there. And then when Wope got there, the spirit of harmony, and she seen this hole. She ran over it and she started digging and digging and digging, ripping up her fingers, sweat dripping off her head, tears pouring down her eyes for the little loved one. And when Itomi appeared to bring shame upon her, suddenly the old man, the spirit of love's grandfather from the north, appeared with the spirit of love under his arms, and he said, I've found the spirit of love tied to a tree. The Itomi has tried to bring shame upon the spirit of love, but has only brought shame upon himself, because the spirit of harmony was blessed to be Wope's teacher, the spirit of love's teacher, and the spirit of harmony shows that with harmony, blood, sweat and tears, love can be made constant, then even death cannot break its bond.